I do read your comments and I see that someone is requesting to smell good on a budget. And would I really be your very own personal beauty pro if I did not deliver? Hi, it's Crystal, your very own personal beauty pro from Face to Fragrance. And just for you, I have perused my fragrance collection and I have pulled affordable fragrances, particularly that shine during the spring summer time of year. Ultimately, fragrance is a luxury in the big scheme of things, but every girl deserves to smell good on every budget. Now, of course, we're keeping in mind that affordable is relative. These products I have not pulled out of thin air. These are actually things I enjoy. They are around the $100 or below realm. I realize that for the everyday person, that can still get expensive. But I didn't want to just run out and get cheap fragrances just for the sake of a video. I want to give you insight from my personal collection, from what I have curated and enjoyed. And one of the first things I want to let you in on is some of my perfume philosophy. There are literally thousands upon thousands of fragrances on the market, and many of them smell good. So don't just purchase something because it smells good, especially if you're on a tighter budget. Purchase fragrances you truly love and that you know you will wear and that give you a beautiful experience. The second tip is to treat your perfume like your wardrobe. Before you add a piece to your wardrobe, it's really good to take into consideration what you already have. Do you need another white shirt? Do you really need a little black dress? It's similar with fragrances. If you know you already have one or two really good fruity fragrances, maybe something with a little more punch, with a touch of spice or woodiness. It's good to have one or two fresher fragrances, and definitely an evening or special occasion fragrance. And the last point I'll share for the purpose of this video is, of course, to shop for fragrances within your finances. When you acquire fragrances as you can truly comfortably afford them, then they are an enjoyment and not a burden. Now, one place some people go for fragrances when they're on a tighter budget is the fragrance discounters. I will offer a word of caution. Those fragrances are at the discounter for a reason, and maybe it's a legitimate reason. Maybe there's just something defective with the packaging or the bottle. Perhaps it was a tester at one time, but there are other occasions where it is not an authentic fragrance. Many companies do offer a money-back guarantee and they do promise authenticity, but the thing about some discounters when they are not authorized retailers is that they can't always control counterfeits entering into their system, and that is one of the primary ways black market fragrances enter the system. And trust me, a lot of well-known favorite fragrances are mass-produced in counterfeit. They look very real and they tend to smell very close. For the inexperienced buyer and sometimes the trained eye, there will not be an obvious difference. So for that reason, if someone is choosing to use one of those discounters, I would exercise caution. But there are some other reliable retailers that sell authentic fragrances at more affordable prices and who are authorized to sell them. And that's places like TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Nordstrom Rack, and Saks Off Fifth. And speaking of smelling good for less, one of the hidden gems at Marshalls and TJ Maxx are luxury soaps. I just replenished mine. Bar soap is irreplaceable in your daily routine, but also in your smell good routine. It's a great way to have a base layer of a very pretty fragrance. And the reason I like getting the luxury soaps at Marshalls and TJ Maxx is because they cleanse really well, but they're usually made of higher quality ingredients like shea butter, pure palm oil, glycerin. They're usually triple milled, oftentimes made in Portugal or England, which is also really good for handmade soaps. The thing about these over, say, your drugstore bar soap, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with those, is that they tend to be better made and longer lasting. It's a great base layer for smelling sweet, clean, and well cared for. And I know a lot of us like to use the liquid body washes, but nothing cleanses and really dissolves that film and those odor causing bacteria like bar soap. And now you want to move on to your next layer, and that can be a body spray. Some people avoid body sprays, but they don't necessarily have to smell inexpensive because they are. And there have been many times when I have complimented someone on their fragrance and it has turned out to be a body spray. And they can give you a nice amount of wear time, maybe up to 4 hours, and you can always touch them up. Of course, Bath and Body Works is one of the popular places, but there's one major challenge when it comes to Bath and Body Works, and that is that many of their body spray fragrances are either seasonal or limited edition. They have a few that are staples, but just be aware that if you find one you really love, you may want to get more than one if possible. I've pulled some of my all-time favorites that I would absolutely wear and that I think smell scrumptious. If you ever see them return, because they often do bring scents back, absolutely try them out. Trot on down to your Bath and Body Works and try out the scents. They're out. They always have testers. See if you like one or two of those. I think Bubblegum Pop is one of their most fabulous, delicious fragrances, and it smells exactly like it sounds, like this delicious childhood bubblegum. This was a really good one. This is Fairy Tale. It does have a similarity to YSL's Lieb. I had the entire lineup, including the lotion of Firecracker Pop, a juicy, sweet, bright cherry fragrance. And I could not get enough of Iced Lemon Pound Cake. Now, if you want to step above body spray, really nice way to get a beautiful fragrance on a budget is to go for travel sizes. That gives you a great opportunity to experience the fragrance and also determine if you want to make a little bit more of an investment on a bigger bottle. I pulled some from my collection that I have that are particularly pretty this time of year. Now, generally speaking, I try not to go overboard with buying travel sizes because for me, it's not always the most value, because really in these travel spray sizes, I am liberal with the sprays. I generally get maybe 3 wears out of one, but these are a great way to have a very beautiful selection of fragrances. And one of the really pretty brands at Sephora is called Ellis Brooklyn. They have some really fun, delicious scents. One I really enjoy is Apple Love. It has this beautiful fresh apple. Not overly simple. It definitely still has this perfumey element. It's a really nice daytime scent for spring, summer. Then they have Sunfruit. It's a nice fruity fragrance, but not super sweet. It has a hint of sweetness, but it really leans more tart and bright and fresh. Definitely get a whiff of this one. And then this one surprised me at how much I really like this. I'm not always a floral girl, but this one by Ellis Brooklyn is called Florist. It's a fresh floral bouquet with a hint of sweetness. So the floral girls might really enjoy this one. I have been wanting Good Girl Blush for I think about 2 years since its release at this point. I have a funny story about this. It still smells so good. This can go day or evening. It is intoxicating and alluring. It's a beautiful feminine fragrance. It's a floral, but it has a touch of a tropical feel, perhaps from the Ylang Ylang. It has something a little juicy and tart. It has this almost creamy quality while simultaneously having a touch of juiciness. It's a little hard to explain. It's such a delicious fragrance. but not necessarily a gourmand. And then it has this really attractive vanilla that is Good Girl Blush. This one is definitely on my full bottle wish list. This is Nest Golden Nectar. I actually believe I got these samples with a Nest purchase. This is a beautiful fragrance, and this one actually is classified as a floral gourmand. And the inspiration behind this is Cleopatra, and legend has it that Cleopatra would actually scent the sails of her ships so that you got her fragrance when she was arriving at a destination, which is the height of fabulous and something I would do. This fragrance has what they're calling a golden orchid, also an amber, a vanilla, and a musk. This is one of those stealthy fragrances, a silent killer, something you think is soft and sweet and innocent, but that is an absolute magnet. Perfect for this time of year. That is Golden Nectar by Nest. This is one I don't hear about as often. This is Tuile d'Hermès by Hermès, but this version is the Tutti. It takes that sweet tuberose with a kick of ginger from the original Tuile, which has this fresh, soapy, but intense floral. It adds this tart, juicy quality, and I find this to be a bit more peppery or spicy than the original as well. The performance is magnificent. Just a couple of sprays, so in this case a travel would last you forever, and it lasts all day. It is not a blind buy though, and it is a bit unique. You have to have a certain taste for it. If you love it, it is worth having. And then in the travel size field, the last two that I just love and think are so delicious and also have full sizes of are some fragrances by the Seven Virtues. The first one had a little buzz when it was first released, but I don't hear as much about this often, and I think it's just delicious. This is Vanilla Woods, and by the name and the notes, you might think it's more fall winter leaning. I think this vanilla fragrance is perfect year round. Oh, it is so delicious. Light, almost syrupy, but when I say syrup, I don't mean a heavy syrup. Like when pears come in a light syrup. It has that touch of juicy fruit, delicious vanilla, a perfect sweetness without being sugary. And then that woody base gives it a bit of sensuality. And there's almost a hint of smokiness in the base as well. This is a delicious fragrance, and this will take you to multiple occasions. So that's Vanilla Woods by Seven Virtues. The next one I have and love is Cherry Ambition. They just did a beautiful job with this cherry interpretation. I've noticed this fragrance also gets more delicious the longer I have it. This is a luscious, spicy cherry, sweet, but it's also sensual, and you can definitely wear this day or night. It is unique, and it is not exactly like the other fragrances in my collection that feature cherry. I have Tom Ford's Lost Cherry and Gritti's Duchessa. I also have Tom Ford's Cherry Smoke. Now I will say, if you mix a bit of Tom Ford's Lost Cherry and Duchessa, then that's kind of the vibe you get. This is a scrumptious grown-up cherry by Seven Virtues. The other one by Seven Virtues is Coconut Sun, and when I smelled the travel size, I instantly knew I wanted a full bottle. This is so delicious and underrated to me. This is so yummy. Tropical, sunny coconut fragrances are done often, but this one is really good. This one is so worth looking into. It's a bright, almost soapy coconut. It has this yummy, creamy sweetness. It has a hint of the tropics without being too sunscreeny. The coconut comes off like this delicious coconut water. It has a natural sweetness. It is so pretty. It's a perfect fresh fragrance without being aquatic. So that's the Yummy Coconut Sun by Seven Virtues. This fun fragrance is Moschino Toy Tube Bubblegum. Not everybody wants a powerhouse fragrance. Some girls like it light and airy and fresh, with just a touch of sweetness, and this is perfect for that. Although it's called bubblegum, it definitely has a floral aspect. Get this true, sweet, delicious bazooka bubblegum, but that's also blended with this beautiful, fresh floral quality. It's sweet, it's fresh, it smells like a spring day. My experience, this is one you have to touch up after a few hours, but I would just decant it and carry it with me. This is the delicious Moschino Toy 2 bubblegum. Next one is one of my favorite fragrances. Still beautiful, modern, and a serious compliment magnet. This is YSL Montpellier. And this little size reminds me of another tip, and that is if you fall in love with one of the pricier designer fragrances, try it in a smaller size. You'll still be getting a full-size bottle, but perhaps try the 30 ml, the 1 ounce. And this way you can have that full-size experience, but you can get it at the lesser price point. And I just happen to have this in a smaller bottle, although the next time I replenish it, I absolutely will try to get the larger bottle because I love it so much. What I get from Montpellier is this delicious blackberry champagne. It is sparkling. It has an effervescence, also has a floral aspect, smells bright, delicious, and elegant, but still fun and playful. And like I said, it is a compliment getter. I also get beautiful longevity and projection and sillage from this fragrance. This is truly a beautiful girly girl perfume without going juvenile, because while it does have a playful aspect, it is definitely grown up. That's YSL's Montpellier. If you're a fragrance girly, let us know in the comments some affordable fragrance favorites of yours and what you consider affordable. I look forward to seeing you in the very next video, but until next time, keep it pretty.